morning, everyone, and welcome to day 36, Talking Horses. He is Greg Wolf. I'm Andy Serling. It is a glorious day. What a day.
This is beautiful. It's cooled off a little. Sun is shining. This is perfection.
Yeah.
Absolute perfection.
The last week here frequently turns into one of the nicer weeks here, and the racing's terrific. 11 race car today. Pick six carryover, $85,000. That was, our buddy Lee Einsiedler has the only live ticket. Single to my crazy 20-to-1 shot pick in the last race.
Wow.
I asked if there was something wrong with him.
Why? Where'd the horse finish? Why'd you like the horse?
Now, because, well, frankly, if I didn't pick him, I would pick the one who finished just ahead of him at half the price. Because I thought the horse had some trips and didn't run that badly in his two turf sprints. It was too far last time, and I just felt committed to pick him.
Okay.
David Aragona liked the winner of the race. He had liked that horse in its turf debut, and he was right. The horse had a terrible trip and just got up in that blanket finish.
I mean, just getting there, that's saying something. So well done.
Oh,
but you don't,
no question.
You don't get much for it, do you? Well, you get a little.
No, the 5 was huge.
Was it?
It was in the 20s, I think.
No, 5 of 6.
It was like 20s, in the 20s.
Hitting 5 of 6 was? Really?
Yeah, no, I think the lowest 5 was like 5,000 with the favorite. And that horse, what was the price? No,
Okay.
I think it got a lot, actually. Anyway, today's another day. It's Pick Six Carryover. Greg and I will go through these races in just a few moments. Anything other to talk about, or should we just get to business here?
I'm really excited for. We'll get to it, but I'm not going to be on with you again for this. But I'm so excited to see Arthur's Right if he can move forward again.
Oh, I can't wait to bet against him.
Okay.
Oh,
Did you bet against him last time?
I did.
How'd that go?
Not well.
Okay.
I
liked
bet against him 2 back. So I'm 0 for 2 with Arthur's Ride. And I thought he would probably win 3
Let's go
races
for the hat
back, and he
trick
ran
for you.
nowhere. Right, exactly.
Okay.
I'm nothing if not consistently stubborn. Not that stubborn, but anyway. Head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, use the promo code SPA250, NairaBets.com. We'll match with $250 of your initial deposit. We've got track stats. Check them out at Naira Bets as well. What do we have? I think Superfecta bonus today. Opt in for this, 16% bonus on the Superfectas if you play through Naira Bets and opt in. 85,836. We have not had a lot of Pick Six carryovers.
No, and we have not. I don't think we have had a 2-day carryover the whole meet, have we?
We could have had one early.
Really?
I'm not sure. You know what? I thought we were close, and I think you may be right. I think we were close, and there were a couple horses live, and it got
I think
hit.
it get hit today.
We'll have to see when we start going through it. The stake, obviously, there's a few scratches in there. And we're on from 1 to 7 on FS2. I'm on with you, though, late.
I'm
We're
late.
on 4 to 7.
Correct, yeah.
All right. Race numero uno. What did you do here? Wow, a horse I don't have anywhere. You're just waiting. You think Gift Box is going to start dropping those lawnmowers? You've been waiting for the Gift Boxes to hit the turf?
We will see. There's a lot of pedigree here, especially early pedigree with Rapid Scent. Dan was a first-out winner, sprinting on the dirt. Produced Law-Abiding Citizen, who was a 10-time winner. 4 of those wins came on the grass. Twice ran 100 buyer or better on the turf. Produced first-out winner, Truth Is, that was on the dirt. Produced graded stakes place runner, Sweet Swingin' on the dirt. Produced first-out winner, Feedback on the dirt, who became a graded stakes
I like
winner.
Feedback. Feedback was a car.
A lot of early win pedigree, and there's turf pedigree as well.
Well, I don't think there is. That's where we're going to have to agree to disagree. I know the dam is the tail of the cat, but she's produced 5 horses to try the turf, and only one of them won. So,
4-time winner who ran 200-plus buyers.
but he was a very good dirt horse.
Okay.
My other problem is this dam's gotten very old. Listen, this horse is going to be a giant.
She is. That's
The
fair. She's
dam's
older.
gotten old. I worry about that as they get older. But listen, there is not a lot of solid ground to stand on in this race because there's just nobody here that's done anything, right? And, I mean, I'm guessing with Correlation and Papa Nico's Boy, the 2 horses, as far as Correlation, it's a half to 1 turf winner, but wasn't very good. But they do ship this horse to Mike Maker, coming in from Ellis Park to come here. You figure the horse probably has speed. I've got her in there. Papa Nico Boy, the dam didn't win the turf, but she actually ran 76 buyer, and she's produced a turf winner that wasn't that bad. And I feel like Eddie Barker is one of these trainers that just – it falls under the radar all the time. I like Eddie a lot, but I think, and I guarantee he loves this horse today because he loves all his horses. So I thought that horse was a little interesting. I see you have
Second Dam was a 5-time winner on the turf, too.
Yep.
Stakes winner as well
Yep.
for Papa's Nico's Boy.
96 buyer. Yeah, I didn't like the 2-year-old sales work, but I thought the horse had pedigree. We both have the 4 in the mix as well, Max and FIFO.
Yeah, Max and FIFO. Gervin's actually 11% turf sprinters. And the only time he ran on the turf, he was pretty good. He ran an 87 Bayer at his second start, missed by 3/4 of a length on the turf. The Dam won the debut on the turf. That's the first foal.
Yep.
Second Dam was multiple stakes. Placed on the grass, won the Yaddo and the Mount Vernon.
That's correct. I have all that.
So there's some reasons to like the 10, or the 4, excuse me.
I'm with you in here. A lot of guessing, though, in this race because, I mean, Mike Trombetta's horse may end up winning this race, but boy, I didn't see much perf pedigree on this horse, and I didn't think the debut was any good. Just finished second by default, right?
Yeah,
Much as I like Mike, but I didn't see a lot to go on that.
Yeah,
horse.
look, I don't have that one in my top 4. Absolutely would want probably deeper coverage. This is a tough race.
Very.
No one
tough
would
race.
surprise
This
you.
would be
really.
a tough one in the pick 6. Race number 2, a big scratch with Another Day Gone By.
Who I loved. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
This was the horse that was oddly dead on the board last time. This is one where you picked the second horse. You had the exact in reverse. You like Mon Petit Choux, ran second. And speaking of Mon Petit Choux, let's take a look at her and Awesome Marie. They are the 1 and 4 in this race. I have them 4th and nowhere. I don't love this race. I know back to Gold by Gold has some good form, and Awesome Marie made a big run in there. But I don't know, man. I didn't love this race. And if I wanted anyone out of it, it would be Mon Petit Choux. I didn't really want either of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I want 7-year-old mare. Even look, last time she was at this level, she won at the condition at 7/8 too. But inside post for her when I just think there's better options. I agree.
We flip-flopped our picks. Goldcrest feels like the horse to beat as Irad is back in action today.
Is this over? It's going to go down to the wire.
Well, it's going to be hard. I think Flavian's gone a couple days.
Going to miss a couple days.
And Tyler's basically gone.
He's
so
out
he
of it.
can't
It's
catch him
between,
right.
yeah.
You might have been right. Irad's going to win the title. You really went on a limb on that one. You fluctuate on
I
what
mean,
his
I
chances.
said it before we ever ran a race, and I stand by that. He's still 1-9.
He's
Gold
a pretty
Press.
good rider.
I think Goldcrest is just getting good right now. 4-year-old filly coming into Rowan. She's put back-to-back races where she's paired up numbers. She's like dropping out of that 25, and she's a little edgy. It's going to be tough later. That's a 10-time winner.
I don't like her later. But we'll
You don't like
discuss
her.
when we get there.
I did try to beat her as well. But having said that, against this field, she would be.
Yeah, well, she's a horse that's not nearly as good when she isn't able to make the lead.
She still consistently runs her
well when
number
she runs her,
every
when
time.
she gets her trip, she's very
Yeah.
tough. Oh, and here she'd be tough. I don't disagree. I'm just going to hope that she caught my eye on the drop down, can re-find her form. And last time she ran was a very good rail, and she was wide in there against much better horses. Obviously hadn't run well before the layoff, but had an excuse coming off a 9-month layoff, and you go 2 back and further. She just beats these fields. So I'm going to hope she can still run. Now, I don't trust her. There have been some Linda horses I've liked here that haven't done any running whatsoever, including the maiden yesterday. But I feel like if she caught my eye is good enough to pick for second, she's good enough to pick on top. That
She's
was my
faced
feeling.
so much. But Deck of Cards is 7 for 10, who beat her last time out. This is a really. She's been facing just monumentally better company, but she has not run well at all the last couple of starts. I mean,
Well, she really does have an excuse last time. And she was laid off a long time after a race, so maybe Linda just felt she needed a break. We'll see.
I would have liked to have seen something before she threw in the towel.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Okay.
But I'm going to, you know me, I love horses against the track. But I won't be shocked if it's just a bad pick.
Okay.
Looking at race number 3, Evaluation is the horse to beat. But I don't want to take even money on this horse, and we'll show the last race, because first of all, I know Geopolitics won on Saturday, but Geopolitics had to fall down to lose that race. There was just nobody in
5
there.
straight runner-up finishes before that
Right.
win.
And one thing about it was the rail wasn't as strong on the second as was in the first. It was still good. And this horse, before angling out off the rail against Geopolitics, rode the rail the whole way. Now, doesn't mean that she can't get better, but I don't want to take even money off a horse that kind of had a pretty bias-aided trip.
Against a horse that, even though, yes, she finally won, has a
breathe on her.
penchant for running second.
Especially when you breathe on her. She won
Yeah.
on Saturday because there literally was
Yeah.
just nobody to run with her at any point in the race. And it was just
Totally
there was
agree
2
with
to
you.
5 in there because there was just nobody on paper that had done any running whatsoever.
I think the 2's even interesting in here, but
Well, 2's definitely interesting in here.
I wound up going outside. But yeah, I think there's several.
Here's your horse, Sweet Anniversary. Here's
Okay.
her last race in the slot.
Look, she was dominant first time out, and then in the slop, she runs Thoroughgraph Rise. She paired up numbers. I think she's going to move forward today. This impressed me. I know you'd say, well, she only won by a length at Finger Lakes. She did this pretty easy going wide.
It was also a sloppy sealed track.
And she may not even like this track.
Ran a much bigger fig first time, and you think it's a little high.
I like that she gets the outside post. I like that she's paired up numbers. And this was a lot easier than looked win.
I'm not I'm not wildly against her. I prefer others. I like Nolita. I like going to Nolita. I found a Bill Mott stat. How about this stat right here? 250 plus day layoffs and dirt sprints. Look at this. Are you surprised by this? 50%ing the board, 27% winning, 208 ROI. Bill's had a really good meet. And
Incredible meet.
I may not like him to win the Jock Club Gold Cup, but I like him here. I know this horse, 2 races back, did run well up here, when second behind the first-time starter for guy who comes in from Chicago, who's good. And I'm just having a senior moment here. I thought it ran very well that day. Obviously, caught a sloppy track last time in a mile. I think less distance
Not
might be
Ravelli.
better. Larry Ravelli. Yeah, it was the first time rode the horse, a heavy favorite in there, and got it done. And I'm going to take Nolita here to upset the one. That's my alternative. I don't think the 2 and 7 are impossible either. You're not as big a fan as me.
Yeah, Cruz to Catalina looked one first time out, dominant, and then was chasing Dolomite, who came back and was second in the Fleet Indian against a Wesley Ward runner who's really good. He's very high on that winner. So that was no shame in Dolomite not winning that race.
I would not rule.
And that work is intriguing too, right? Second to Dolomite, first time against winners, goes to Churchill, and a bullet 59 in one move. I don't know how she did it, but
It's interesting that Riley keeps shipping this horse back to Churchill. I mean, maybe he doesn't have stalls here and doesn't want to, he's not going to leave it in someone else's stall because it's a New York bred.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. This horse is a player. And I think the 2 is a player, the 7 is a player, the 5 I think is interesting more. I think that all adds up to evaluation at even money is a bit of a poor bet. She may win, but even money seems like an underlay.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Race
I mean, she ran very good first time out, though.
No, I'm not knocking her.
Yeah.
She may move forward, but she was with the track, and that's all. That's my. If she wasn't with the track, if I thought it was she still would have had a good trip, but the with the track put me over the top. I just wanted to bet against her. And speaking of Chad Brown and Klarovich, as Klarovich enters today, 1 win ahead of Flying P. And Flying P has live a little bit later today, though you and I are going to have a bit of a disagreement about that. So
Race 4. Thank you.
you're going to try to wire it, I assume, with call protection, who I think is very dangerous on the front end. Sort of interesting, though, that Chad drops into and listen, it's a 3-year-old, but this horse ran okay last time in a pretty tough field. I was surprised that he went right to the turf of this horse. This horse could win in the dirt.
That was a good field. That was a really good field. Reynolds Channel, Hurricane Nelson, who still I think is a horse with a ton of talent.
Yep.
I don't know if this horse has to be in the lead, but I do think at least I don't even care usually from this barn if there's turf pedigree because it usually doesn't matter.
There's some turf pedigree.
But there is turf pedigree.
Yeah.
I'm saying it usually doesn't matter for me.
No,
but
I
the
agree.
second dam stakes place on the grass, sprinting and at a mile. And
Damn,
this
one on the
horse
turf. She wasn't much. But she won
has the
dirt.
fastest race of anyone, on dirt, and we'll see what this horse can do on grass.
Yeah. I wonder if this horse is going to end up the favorite over Art Tempest. Because I'm not an Art Tempest fan. I think the call protection ends up being favored because people, not only the Chad Brown factor, but this horse, I think, will be perceived as the speed. So I'm usually disagreeing with David, and I end up being wrong. I don't think I'll be wrong here.
Okay.
And I think the horse is kind of the horse to beat. But I'm going to go to Steadfast Resolve because at least he finally isn't in an entry when he takes too much money because the entry mate. Now, he's an annoying horse who's quirky and he just does. Wow, you don't have him in the top 4.
I actually really like this horse. I cannot take him
And his
because he
act?
cannot get out of the gate. And he's going to be so far back, and it's not one time. It's every
time.
single time.
He's a
And
badly
he doesn't just
behaved
break
child.
slow.
He should be in the corner. He should be in the corner with a dunce cap on.
He's going to spot the field 15 lengths.
No, not 15 lengths, but he's a bad breaker. I'm not disagreeing. He must drive George Weaver crazy. I agree. But he's not going to be a short price today. And if he's 4-1.
He's talented, though.
Yeah, he is. He's run well in these races. But you're right. He's a bad actor. Anybody else we like here at all? I don't love our Tempest here. You don't have him anywhere. You've got Sanborn.
I don't.
second.
I think when you look at Sanborn and Hurricane Express from those two, for me, it was sort of tough to not go with Sanborn.
I agree of the two. I just don't like either one of them.
Yeah, he to me, I thought had a wider trip early, and then when Hurricane Express came to him, he really quickened in the stretch.
Fly is okay, but he was 0 for about 15 coming in there. He should have been favored in that race. I wasn't sure, didn't understand. He did win easily. He has good races, but I don't know. I didn't like that race overall, so I went in different directions. 7 and 4 for me. I'll use 2 of them. You are much more heavily on the 4 call protection. This be one you'd lean on heavily in the early pick 5?
Race 5?
No, in the 4, Call Protection.
Oh, no.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I don't feel that confident with them.
I thought race number 5 was not particularly easy race, and we'll start out with She's a Little Edgy. And I just think with the presence of It Takes Heart and Backed by Gold, and Romero Mirage was aggressive and Manny's aggressive, that she wouldn't have that easy time on the front end that she really needs. I mean, look at the difference between her when she's able to control a race and when she's not. And when she's not, she's just not nearly as good.
No, that's fair. And
With IRAD, it's going to be a super short price.
she actually took, for a mare who's remarkably consistent, she took a bit of a backward, even though she won, she took a bit of a backward step last time out. The numbers that I use, which was a little concerning to me.
Yeah, I think her form's declined a little bit, and I think it's a heavy favorite. I'm way against her. You've got her third, I've got her fourth. So we both have an opinion to be against her. You've taken Jackson's Dixie, huh?
Yeah, look, this is, for me, a 4-year-old filly that is doing pretty good. She likes to win. She's 7 for 20 lifetime. She faced just someone she had no chance against last time. Tricky Tepper came back, won the Union Avenue.
What about a race before it, though?
I think that since the blinkers have gone on, that's when she's gone bad.
You don't think it has anything to do with leaving Linda Rice?
Could be.
That's what worries me.
We'll see.
And that's fair about the blinkers, but I worry it's Linda Rice.
Yeah, absolutely, that could be part of it. Look, she's not having the monster meet that
No,
but
she's tough to claim from.
Yeah. I do think the equipment change is going to make a difference here, and this horse has been very effective with the blinkers off, and I think I like getting the outside post, too. It does not have to have the lead.
So in the last few days here, you're probably a little bit better staying away from the rail a little bit. We're not seeing a lot of horses doing running on the outside, so staying on the horse's outside post is an advantage in here. I don't love Toscanova Beauty, obviously, but I do think she ended up a bit more forward in a race that kind of did come apart a bit late. And, one of the horses that was in part of the pace had run really well in the past. And I just thought her race behind She's a Little Edgy 2 back was good enough. And I figured she'd be a big price in here. So I picked her. I think the horses I kind of want in here are the 1 and 5. I don't want Backed by Gold. We'll look at her race. And neither of us have her in here. It's probably a mistake. She's 10 to 1. So if you like her, you should bet her. I just feel like this is a much tougher field. I didn't realize she'd be such a big price in the line.
Yeah, this was 12,000.
This was the day to have her.
Yeah. Well, she's 10-1 again today.
Was this one of these you singled the pick 5 and missed the pick 5, or somebody else they singled her?
No,
and they missed
not me.
it. I think. Yeah, somebody told me that.
Okay.
I think Paul.
You're probably going to get the same number as this day, but yeah, it's a much tougher group.
Yeah,
much tougher group.
What about Hazardous Humor, who's caught a muddy sealed track last time out and has figs that are good enough to be competitive here and is kind of a new face to the crew? Isn't a really winning type, but a horse that's run fast enough figs is going to be a big price.
She's sneaky because you look the last couple of starts. So she comes in from Delaware. Last 2 starts were both off track. She'd gone long before that. You look at that time against She's a Little Edgy. That was off a lengthy layoff. So when she really, say, fair shot, fast track, she actually ran pretty good against Ain't Broke, who would destroy this field. She ran credible against Hashtag Lucky. Those were longer races at a mile, but she's shown she can run well sprinting as well. So, I think a lot of excuses and kind of muddied up form there.
I thought she was a little bit of a fuzzy here at a price to use, so I kind of went to that.
I want to ask you about Malibu Moonshine, because I thought she was interesting as well.
She is. I mean, I hate to say it, and you know how much I like Charlie Baker, but he's going to have to win a race before I start betting his horses. He ran okay yesterday, and finishing, I think, second, but wasn't that close. And I mean, I know she's dropping a lot, but my gosh, her form just fell apart.
I mean, massively dropping.
No,
and
I know.
She was very precocious. She started out 3 for 3, including a stakes win,
But
a couple of stakes wins.
Here's a stat for Charlie. 50% drop in the dirt at Naira, 1 for 13. Sprints 1 for 7. It's not great when he makes these drops, and that concerns me, but I'm not going to be shocked if the horse does well because she has back form. That's okay. It's not that good, though, but she'll be a bit of a price. My whole thing here is I don't want She's a Little Edgy. So I'm not going to argue with anybody's selection outside of her.
You're not even going to use her protectively in multi-race?
Nope.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying I'm betting multi-races, but
Okay.
I mean, could I have her as a C if I was going deep in it? Yeah, but I don't really want her. I wouldn't spend very much money on her.
Okay.
I don't like her. I think she's a very different horse she's not able to control. She does draw well towards the outside, but I think there's other speed in here. We'll see. We'll take a break. The pick 6 with a carryover after a quick message from our friends at Saratoga Springwater.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
We're back talking horses. Day 36. It's really day 35. It's only a 39-day meet this year with the cancellation. But 36-day schedule to meet. Race number 6, kicking off the pick 6 carryover. 85,836. Wow, that was a very impressive job. You got that up so quickly. This is an interesting race. And right away yesterday, my buddy Leon Seidler said to me, "You don't like T. Craft," and he was mad at me. And
I would have too.
well, I don't like Lee. It's actually I like the horse. It's Lee I don't like. We'll take a look. This horse ran very, very well last time. What's interesting is this was a day where there were questions about the rail, and fair questions. Now, this horse wasn't right on the stretch, but this horse was pretty close to the rail. A lot of them running the race and ran so well. That's why I didn't know for sure if the 27th, Jim Dandy Day, was definitely a bad rail. And this horse lost to a horse that could be a major player, probably is a major player in the Hopeful on Monday in Chancellor McPatrick.
4 horse outside.
The problem is you got 16 to 1 last time and is going to be a much, much shorter price. And I know there was a pedigree to go long, but has got to stretch out to a mile and draws well on the outside. And I don't think Noble Confessor is impossible either. The horse you have second.
Well, he was in his debut. He was right behind T. Craft. Yeah, absolutely. And it's Todd Pletcher, a horse who pedigree says longer is going to be better anyway. I just with T. Craft, I told you right before we came on for this race, I spent more time on any race on this card on this race. And I mean, you can go in circles and just drive yourself crazy with this race. It's tough to tell. I love the fact that T. Craft is getting 2 sprints and now going to stretch out to the mile. I like the foundation. He did run big. I'm a little concerned what he's going to try and do in this race.
He's got to go. I think the 8 and 9 are both going.
Man. From the outside post, I don't know. I mean, he's quick, and if he gets there, great. But he hopefully doesn't have to be there. But if he does go, fine. I think he lasts. That's a monster, as you said, obviously, who got by him last time out. And I want a little more foundation than Noble Confessor has in here.
While I get they're going to bet Ira, the 2 Pletchers, I prefer Contrabandist of the 2. Got a muddy sealed track, ran into that killer last time. This horse going to be forward in here as well.
$1.3 million horse beat him.
Yeah, who's going to be the favorite, I think, in the Hopeful on Monday, Ferocious. I prefer this one of the ones of the Pletchers. I've got this one second. But I like the 2 also rans from the Chancellor McPatrick race. I mean, the illogical one is Fiddling Felix, who you've got third because this horse broke 2 to 2.5 legs slow. Was sort of rushed up in there and made a real run.
But he's done that twice now.
Right. He doesn't get out of the gate. Is a problem. Whit Beckman run his first race at Saratoga here over the weekend. Congrats to him. I like American Promise, though. Wayne Lucas, we have seen him improve second time out with 2-year-olds time and time again. This horse broke about a length and a half slow and really looked to me like a horse that did have that steady down the backstretch, a little bit of trouble. But this horse looked like a horse that absolutely needed this race first time.
I'm not sure this might not be the speed.
I don't know. That's an interesting point because if I'm right that the horse needed his first race, this horse could be forward.
Working in the morning like a horse who,
is there workout reports?
Rolling along.
Are there workout reports in this horse?
Yeah.
What kind of reports?
I mean, they're not off the page, but yeah, it looks good. I think maybe a B, got a B for that last work. But yeah, like rolling along there. Yeah, look, Dan produced Who's Your Filly, started her career 3 for 3. Obviously, precociousness there.
Overcame Tom Amos. Actually won a stake. And then Reality.
Saw her the other day, actually, back at Tom's.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Nice. Tom had a really good meet. He didn't run that many horses. He got 5 wins.
Terrific
like 5 for 23 on the stats I saw when I was looking at Sunday's card. I think he did have a race yesterday, so 5 for 24. It's not easy to ship here and get 5 wins here, limited starters around town. It's good. We'll see what happens. Race number 6 kicks off that pick 6, $85,000. Race number 7. I want to start, in race 7. Wow, you've taken the firster here. I have to jaywalk. Is it jaywalking?
Jaywalk, yeah, former champ.
Dirt champ. with Vintage Vino. Vintage Vino should not be a maiden. Vintage Vino should have won last time. He was much the best. The horse who won the race got a perfect trip, came back as a big winner. The problem with Vintage Vino, though, is how confident can you be that he's going to be as effective going short, though he didn't run that badly first time going short. Excuse me. Sorry,
Yeah, look, this horse ran very good, legitimate trouble, and it got a big figure for it at 1.5 miles.
Yeah, I just worry this horse may not be as effective going shorter.
They went 1:15 and 1 for 6.
The fractions
There
really
was very
matter.
little running done early in this race. I don't know. I mean,
El Razine, who came back to win for Todd Pletcher, and Dylan Davis got a perfect ride.
the horse
trip
is a
that day,
player,
was
and
much
you
the
got to
best.
use, I guess. Yeah.
Right. So talk about wheelhouse.
So Pletcher, first-time starter. I dirt routes, I am very reticent to take first-time starters. Turf, it obviously is a lot easier to get done with a debut starter. You talked a little bit about the pedigree. Produced a champion, yes, on dirt, Jaywalk, 2-year-old filly, but also produced Danza Trice, who's a 7-time winner, ran an 82 Beyer, winning on the turf the only time that one tried the grass.
Better dirt horse, though.
What's that?
Better dirt horse,
Yeah,
though,
but the
right?
only time on the turf, I think an 82 Beyer would win here. There's ability, is my point. And obviously this horse, expensive, going through the auction ring. There's ability with this horse, and no one, to me, you look at the others in here, is some massive standout.
No, I don't disagree with that. The problem is that Todd Pletcher has horrible numbers with his first-time stars going along the turf. He's 10% with 2-year-olds. 3-year-old, I didn't put it up, but 3-year-old first-time stars in turf routes, he's 6 for 92, 7% with a $1.05 ROI. Only 24 of them hit the board. So his numbers in these races are bad. It doesn't mean this horse can't win, but they're bad. Now, with right to vote, you have second, and I left out, and this may be a mistake on my part, and I think Chad Brown thinks I made a mistake because he thinks the horse is live here, but this horse ran in spots in here, and I don't want to, knock 2-year-old low figure races too much, though I didn't love the field this horse came out of, but I am going to show you a funny stat for Chad Brown after this. This suggests this horse is going to run better, and maybe he's just a completely different horse as a 3-year-old, and I'll show you the stat afterwards, because he did come running at the end in an odd race.
Yeah, they're all kind of bunched up there
Right.
late.
That's what I didn't love about it. But look at this. 6 to 12 month layoff, turf route, maiden at Saratoga. He's 6 for 10 with 8 hitting the board and a 632 ROI.
It's insane.
Right. So they're $10 horses and they're winning. At a crazy, it's a small sample, but I thought it was pretty amazing. I left him out. I may pay for it. I'm married to betting a horse in this race. The horse I'm married to betting is Chow Chuck, who I think can be closer. Now, he couldn't get 1 mile and 3/8 last time, but I want to look at the Gulfstream race last time because he doesn't really break in here. He's the number 11, right? Now, watch what
This is
happens
two back?
to him. Yeah, watch. This is his last shorter race. He gets pushed out to about the 6 to 7 path at this point and completely and totally taken out of the race. And he's a horse that can be more forward, as he was in his debut when he ran a race that makes him competitive. Now, look where he is here. He is way back and wide. He's wide the entire way around the track. He's going to, he had broken slow. He's going to be like 4 wide. Look at him where he is. He's like 4 wide solidly. And he never stops running.
White blinkers.
Yeah, he only gets beaten 2 lengths in here. Keeps running wide on both turns, out of position the whole way, and keeps on running. And I just thought this horse, for Fernando Abreu, I think is a really good trainer who's had good success with limited stars here. I thought his first race was good enough to compete here. There are no killers in here. This was a crazy trip. He didn't want 1 mile and 3/8 last time. I got to give this guy a chance.
He's gonna be, and it's gonna be a monster price. No, there's a couple of races here. I mean, to be honest, there's quite a few where I feel like I want a lot of coverage in here.
The
There's
8 and 9
no
could win.
one in here. Maybe, and I don't want to say one horse because I don't want to do that to anyone. But there's maybe I could go all but one and still not feel great.
I mean, the eight was running okay figures as a 2-year-old. It was Kentucky
That
Downs.
Keelan race
but
is
it's not terrible. I mean, he's got a chance off that.
No
Inherent
question.
Promise is obviously a logical horse in here. He's just had too many chances for me, and there's too many interesting horses to take him. That's why I didn't pick him.
second to Clever Mischief last start here.
Yeah, no, he ran fine.
Yeah.
He could win. He may be the most logical horse in the race. I just want to be a little illogical here. And David Asman's the favorite at 4-1, with Commander and Truth coming out. And the pace, I'll tell you something else. I think that Chow Chuck can be in front. If Javier's thinking, he's going to the front with Chow Chuck with the scratches. So
Yeah, look, he was quick at 1 mile. I'm a little concerned that 1 mile and 3/8 dulls that speed a bit, but he did show that speed at 1 mile.
he breaks, he can be there. I thought this was a very interesting race. Second leg of the pick 6, race number 8. We're going to have a disagreement here. Now, I don't like Chateau at all. I actually prefer the 1A. As you can see, I have him 4th, but I could never pick him because he's part of an entry with Chateau. And we'll take a look at Chateau's last race. But I also want to show the head-on of the start for the number 5, Emerald Forest, who's the 8 here, who was the favorite and does have legitimate trouble in this race breaking there because he's going to break a little slow and the door is going to get closed in on him as they squeeze in and take him out of position, and he loses all chance. So that takes him out of the race. Now, he was never a speed going in, and I don't trust him, and I don't like his claim, and he drops and all these things, but he was taken out of the race. But Chateau was riding, in my opinion, the goldest of gold rails here, and the last thing I'm ever going to do is take a short price coming off a gold rail trip on August 1st. I know Flying P probably overpaid for him. He's a private purchase by Flying P since the last race, and I understand they're trying to win the trainer's title, and their horses have run so well, but this horse is going to beat me. The problem is entry may save him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Afternoon Heat might be the second or third most logical winner in the race. I went with Chateau. He's got the perfect post position. He's inside. He's the quickest horse in the race. And,
Horse in any race.
Aided or not, you're going to have to catch him to win this race, and he's dropping from 16 to 10 to do it. And the number he ran last time out makes him,
of course,
even if he backs up a little bit,
well, he's going to back up unless there's a
even if he
does,
in my eyes, it's going to be hard to run down.
Yeah, I hate this horse today.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'd like to, if he was running on his own, I would book him if I could. Because I understand the Flying P horses are running off the screen, and maybe this will be a one improves, but the truth of and I don't think you'll disagree with Chateau, is he's made a career of being unreliable. I mean, he's nothing if not unreliable.
Most of these horses are. It's 10,000 claimer.
I get it, but most of them aren't going to be 6 to 5. That's the difference. And, I just want to take Hatch off the Linda Rice claim. This is a horse that was a little bit against it last time, has figures going back 2 and 3. I know he's not a big winning type, but I think this is an interesting horse for Linda Rice off the claim. He's the kind of horse that she does really well with, and I think this horse has had plenty of races that make him a contender, and he'll be a better price. I don't love him in here. You don't like him at all.
No, look, again, bottom level 10,000 claiming race. I think some of it's just who shows up on the day and is feeling good. These are not world beaters.
I know, but I don't, I want to get a little bit better price here. I mean, listen, Charging Arrow, who you have third in here, I feel like last time was the time for him. But he did run okay in here. Good trip or not. He ran pretty well.
He did. I think if he can just maintain his form, yeah, I think he's a major player. And he is going to be a little bit of a price. I think the 8, 9, and 10 are all interesting
I think the 10 is very dangerous in here, Bust and Shout. I totally agree. And as you see, I have the 8 in there as well. Bust and Shout is dropping down. He's been running against some better fields. It was a 2-speed number. Last time the rail was good. He was off the rail. He's got races that make him a contender. He's going to get pace to run at. I think he's got a shot.
I mean, so many times, how often does it happen? We go through these races and, oh, my God, anyone can win. It's so wide open. And it winds up being the most logical race of the day.
I don't think Chateau is logical. I know that you disagree, and most people will disagree.
Well, the problem with that, too, even if you think that the other half of the entry might be the other horse to beat.
I agree, but yeah. No, I agree. If the 1A was running on her own, I'd probably pick the horse second. But I can't possibly bet the horse because the horse is an entry with the 1. You're right. He may save the entry. If I could book Chateau on his own, I would gladly do it. I do not like that horse. I think he's completely unreliable. And also, based on the track we've had, he's not going to get the same kind of trip. Now, maybe the track has changed and gotten more fair, but even on a fair track, I think he's in trouble. We'll see. Makes it interesting. Race number 9 at a flat mile in here. So, what did you think of Nunzio's last race?
I have him 4th. Look.
We'll get to him.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have started with
That's
it.
all right.
I want to start with Bob John Ray here, the 10. I just feel like there's a good chance he didn't handle the mud last time because he ran well enough to back win second that I thought he was pretty logical in here.
This was disappointing. He was a short price.
Well, I don't think he handled the mud at all last time. It just felt like he was never.
I gotta think there's an excuse because he was coming into that race. I felt the right way. I think we are going to see a lot better from him today.
Yeah, I didn't pick him on top. Skylar Starship dropping down, the 3-year-old.
Yeah, I think this is an improving 3-year-old. He has tactical speed to get position in this race. And that race 2 back in the New York Derby against Pandegate Doc Sullivan, I think showed that he has a little bit of class, too. He ran one of the biggest figures he's ever run in his career at a mile and 16th. He was forward that day. But, last time out. What?
What happened last time?
He was incredibly wide last time out from an outside post, and I thought he had no chance to win that race.
Okay. I was just disappointed by that effort. That's why I had him lower, but I could see him winning here. Nunzio. I feel like the problem with Nunzio is he's a last time was the time horse. Michelle Giangiulia, on a small sample size, she's 1 for 8 off of maiden wins on the dirt, 0 for 0 second-time starters, so she's never had any. But he did run well in here, but I just feel like last time was the time to cash with him, but I wouldn't be shocked if he wins.
Yeah, look, almost 8-1 on this win. It's going to get a lot tougher here for this horse, and it was a fan of these connections to get that job done, and love to see Kendrick on. Would love to see him get another win. I think it's going to be a lot tougher task because there's quite a few horses in here. I think Boys Code's interesting.
He's very interesting. He just never wins.
Yeah.
And gets back to a dry track, and he obviously didn't handle it at all last time.
I even think Two's a Crowd, Merlin's Moment are not races you can throw out.
I like Merlin's Moment. I haven't seen a dirt race from Two's a Crowd that's competitive, but Merlin's Moment, last time out in New York Derby, just kind of got lost in there after a mediocre break. And then when he was steadied 2 back, he wasn't winning, but it was a legit steady.
Yeah.
And I don't know that he wasn't going to win, but I think it did hurt his chances. And I think you go back to races 2 and 3 back, and they're both good enough to compete, and he's going to be a better price. So I'm mostly 4s and 10s.
I wanted to put him a lot higher. I couldn't make a good excuse for his last race.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, I just thought he got a little out of position early, but I agree. He didn't. Maybe it was just too tough a field, but you're right. The horse you picked on top ran better than he.
With Ja Mode out, I actually was going to pick him. He was not some massive standout. This race got a lot tougher, though. I mean, I guess it's going to be Bob John Ray, the favorite, probably.
Yeah, is Nunzio the controlling speed now with the 1 out? Makes him a lot tougher, I think.
I don't know.
It's not an easy race.
The 6 is not slow.
These are not easy races. I mean, we've gone through 4 races in the pick 6. A lot of people lean on Chateau. I think they're out of their mind. The 6th race, the first leg of the pick 6, a lot going on in that race. The 7th race, a lot going on in there. The 8th, I don't like Chateau. I think it's wide open. Here feels wide open. Now, the 10th race, obviously the scratches will make it easier to pick 6, and Without Caution is the horse to beat, I think, as we go to the 10th race. We'll look at his race. I'm not taking a big position against him, but I don't know. He got a perfect trip last time. Now, it's funny, Sharitova had liked him. She had said in the Saratoga special that she really liked the horse, but he took no money. I think they bet a lot on another horse of hers in here that didn't do much running.
Love the way he quickened in the stretch here. Yeah, it was just visually impressive here at the debut. 13-1. That's surprising with the hot start she had. You're right. Just wins easy. And you would think, improvement off that. Without Caution, it's going to be tough to beat in this spot. And that has tactical speed, has a good post early to save ground. There's a lot to like.
But we both like Tenacious Leader.
No, you do as well. Nice.
I do, yeah. This horse is apparently working very well. Has been working with Talk of the Nation.
Yes.
Who's a good older stakes horse.
Multiple graded stakes place turf runners working on even terms with that horse. Although he's been having to work a little bit harder to do it, but he's kept up with that horse.
And I think that's why Todd is going to turf with this guy, despite the fact that his pedigree isn't screaming turf.
The Dam was a half to a turf route winner named Draw 2. And then a graded stakes winner on the Dirt War Story. So there's a little bit of pedigree there.
Yeah, I'm going to take this horse. I thought Grand Motion's horse ran fine last time behind a good horse in Governor Sam. And, maybe he could be better. Yeah, maybe he could be better stretching out. So I actually put that horse second. I don't like the Euros in here. I am a little scared of the horse coming from France for Chad Brown. I don't love horses taken from Andre Fabre, with all due respect to Chad Brown. Andre Fabre's a tough guy to get horse for, one of the greatest trainers in the history of the game. I don't have any way of judging the race the horse ran in, so I don't have anything to say. I think I got an 84 Racing Post rating. That's the best I can tell you about this horse.
Which is relative to what?
Not that good.
Okay.
But was, forwardly placed the whole way, and I thought ran pretty well. I watched the race. Was sort of stalking the pace from an outside post.
Okay.
Now, I don't like the 8 at all.
Why?
Because this horse is favored in the morning line because they can't bet enough of these Godolphin horses, and I think this horse is coming out of terrible races.
Just nothing
This horse
behind
has
him.
no speed whatsoever. I think this horse can't get out of the gate.
Two of the
And I
three
think this horse
races is
running
dwelt.
against absolutely very, very, very weak foes.
Okay.
I don't like this horse at all.
And it's going to take money.
Yeah. You don't have him in there either. I mean, obviously
No.
you felt the same way I did. So we'll see what happens. If one of the Euros wins, I think Zula Kingdom is much, much more likely to be the one.
No nudge for either of us.
He's not impossible.
No.
But I prefer the other Pletcher like you did.
Okay.
Race number 11. Now, this might be a horse that people really lean on and is credit-worthy, and for good reason. This horse should not be a maiden. I mean, the trouble is so obvious, it's ridiculous. I mean, and this horse is not that slow. He
No.
had some speed, and they showed speed, so Manny kind of reined him back, but this horse is not that slow. And as you're going to see
There's
right
the
here,
trouble.
Here's
Yeah.
the trouble. This horse is just completely eliminated from the
So
race.
he's done now, right?
Yeah, well, yes, except not exactly. I mean, he almost wins this race. This is a joke. He runs back to this race. Somebody better really run to beat him.
This was incredibly impressive. I mean, at that point, you throw in the towel, race is over. Look at him turn on the jets and make this really interesting late. And this is his debut. This horse is going to be no way you get 8-5, I think.
No, I don't think so, unless one of the firsters really gets bet in here. Summer and Aaron is a half to 3 turf winners, including McCarran. The Dam was a dirt horse, but she produced a lot of turf runners, so that horse could certainly be dangerous for Christophe Clement, a first-time starter.
And one of the firsters who was interesting, who was working well too, the 10 comes out.
Yes. And you've got the Melanie Giddings horse, and she's 3 for 4 with Sean Bridgemahan, and I don't know what to say. And this horse apparently working very well.
Yeah.
I don't know how you like this horse, but you're probably right to have the horse second there. I'm scared of their horses after yesterday again.
Ran very good, especially that second turf sprint, Horseshoe Indy, and now blinkers on, getting Lasix with, potent combo.
Yeah, no, I think that horse is very, very dangerous in there. I don't like the 6. Who's going to get bet off a dirt race, and I think this is a horse that has minimal pedigree for turf. Reverend Moon may take some money for Christophe Clement. I have a stat, I think, for Reverend Moon that's pretty incredible. 9 for 20, 15 in the board on 6 to 12 month layoffs and turf sprint maiden races for Christophe. So I thought that was pretty interesting with him. And listen, he ran fast enough as a 2-year-old that he could improve and be a player here.
I wanted to ask your thoughts on the Wesley runner. Inklies the 5.
Is he working well?
Nothing that's jumping off the page.
Just didn't see a lot of pedigree, but it's Wesley. Anything's possible, right?
I mean, just surprising ever to see. It's not, I know it's not a 2-year-old race, but still to see 10-1 morning line.
Yeah, it's probably because there's so much going on in here. I think the 7, Zecca Diabo, is the bomb that you want in here. And we'll go back to his only turf race. And this is with one of my favorite jockeys, Abel Escano, who many people know that I'm not his biggest fan. This was a day where the rails were down. The winner came up the rail. The rail seemed pretty good. And this horse really did some running. And you go through that race, that was an extremely live race. Tunisian Spring. He's a really good turf sprinter. Came out of that race. I think he was second here in a tough turf sprint. This horse did a lot of running that day, and I think ran the best race he's ever run. And it's not like he hasn't been that bad in the dirt. And maybe he's back on the surface he belonged on all along. I'm going to use this guy. I think he's interesting at a huge price.
It's going to be massive
Yeah.
because the 2 is going to get bet heavily.
As he should
be. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably the biggest single in the entire sequence.
I would agree.
Win or lose, he's probably the one that people will lean on.
I don't know
the
if
most.
I just can't find a single anywhere else.
Yeah, he's the likeliest single, I
Yeah.
would guess, for people who are playing. Is there is that $85,000 carryover. Thank you, Greg. 11 races today. First post is going to be at 1:10. Greg and I will be on the second half of the show from 4 to 7. The rest of the team, well, some of the team will be with us, and the rest of the team will be on the first half. Head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, no better time than the present. Use the promo code SPOT250. Go to NairaBets.com and we'll match $250 of your initial deposit. Check out track stats while you are over there as well. Also, we have a 16% bonus on Superfectus. Check that out. And pick 6 carryover. $85,836 begins in race 6. And the show from 1 to 7 on FS2. Great. Thanks again. Your last appearance until we get back to Belmont. Excellent
Enjoyed
job as always. Frank Miramati also doing an excellent job around here. He'll be up next, the reprise, the scratches and changes.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your hats for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saratoga Racecourse. The track is fast and the turf course is firm. Here are the changes. In the first, scratch number 1A, But Now Am Found. Workout for number 3, Replevin. Scratch number 10, Monteavi. First race starts the early pick 5. Early pick 4 begins with race 2. Scratch 2, Another Day Gone By. In the third, scratch 3, First Class Cat. Scratch 4, She's an Arctic Queen. In the fourth, mandatory payout pick 5. Scratch the also eligibles 9 and 10. Fifth race, middle pick 4. Scratch 7, Jackie the Joker. The sixth race offers a carryover of $85,836 in the $1 pick 6. Workout for 5, Tharum. In the seventh, number 1, Right to Vote, a first-time gelding. Scratch 1A, Duration. Scratch 6, Commander of Truth. Scratch 7, Prospero. Workout posted for number 8, Act of Mutiny. And scratch number 10, Military Road. Scratch 1A, 6, 7, and 10 out of the 7th, start of the late pick 5. Race 8 begins the late pick 4. Scratch 2, Honorary Degree, part of an entry. And scratch 7, Ribbons and Medals. In the 9th, scratch 1, Jaw Mode. Scratch 11, Beta. The 10th is the 20th running of the Grade 3 with Anticipation. Scratch 4, Good Long Cry. Scratch 5, Dancing Bear. Scratch 6, Reach for the Rose. Workout for 8, Cavallo Bay. Scratch 10, Uncaged. And scratch number 11, Joey Muscles. And in the 11th, number 8, Reverend Moon is a first-time gelding. And scratch number 10, Time and Tide. Enjoy your afternoon here at Saratoga Racecourse. They'll be at the gate for race 1 in 26 minutes.
Horse racing? Check. Weekly promotions? Got 'em.